Again, we've got till 2:12 with Coach, so go ahead, CL.
Hey, Coach. With the news of Anthony Harris not being available the rest of the season, I just wanted to see. We've got two games with it, but how do you foresee those minutes in the rotation he was playing? How do you see that breaking down? Is there a chance that one of the freshmen might possibly see some more minutes in the rotation now, or do you just feel like it'll be a game to game feel?
I don't know. It could be a game-to-game feel. That being said, DeMarco and Dontrez and Puff and Justin, have the opportunity to step up and play more minutes. And the way that they have practiced and the way that they have prepared, I feel very confident of them being able to play well out there on the floor. And but I do want to say I love Ant, and I love coaching him. I love being around him every day. I love him being a part of this team and a part of this program and a part of this university. I love Ant.
Michael Coe.
Hey, Coach. So when you look at Alonzo Williams for Wake Forest, obviously he's an All ACC candidate this year. Just looking at his game, what would you say is the number one strength of his game?
His ability to make plays, not only to help himself but to help his teammates. That's a pretty good, significant stat to have the combination of being the leading scorer in the ACC as well as leading the ACC in assists. His ability to score, but his ability to know when to pass and make his teammates better, it just jumps right out at you, when you're watching him on film. Man, he's having a terrific season, and he's fun to watch.
Thanks.
Brandon Marks.
Hey, Hubert, another logistical question for you. Armando went down late against Miami, and you said that potentially he could come back in if things were different at the end of the game. Just wondering how he's been the past couple of days and if you expect him being sort of a full go for Saturday.
Yeah, he'll practice today, and he'll be a full go on Saturday.
Andrew Jones.
Coach, a couple of weeks ago, you talked about the 30-day challenge that you gave the guys for this month. And so the different messages that you've had to give them, either after Tennessee or after Kentucky, now after Miami, does the message change? Does the delivery change? How do you go about getting it through to them that what happened the other night cannot happen again? It must prevent that from happening further in this season.
Well, I don't think the message has to change. I would think the opposite. It has to stay consistent. The things that we talk about, we talk about every day, and you have to talk about it every day, and you have to do it every day in order for it to become a habit. And so, the conversations that I've had with the players in response to the way that we played against Miami earlier this week has been really good, really encouraging. I love our guys. They're such a joy to be around every day, and I'm just filled with thankfulness that I get to be their coach, and I get to help them, I get to encourage them, I get to coach them, I get to support them, I get to get on them and push them to be the best that they can be. I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to be in the locker room with. And because this is an area that we want to improve on, it doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. They're just kids. They're 18, 19-year-old kids. I got 3 kids. One of them is 19 years old. And he's great. But he's not perfect every day. just shows up every day and be the best that he can be. And so that's what our players are doing. They showed up at practice yesterday, and then we had a great practice. They'll show up today, and they'll have a great practice. And we'll show up at Wake Forest tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and we'll be there.
Patrick Walter.
Coach, you talked about the leadership issues after the loss to Miami. Why do you think your team is having leadership issues when, given everything you just said, you enjoy being around them so much and they are this great group of guys?
I've never said there were leadership issues. Those are not my words. I've never said that. One of the conversations that I've had with a number of players over the last couple of days was talking to them, encouraging them, empowering them, that leadership comes in different forms. And some can be vocal leaders, some can be effort leaders, some can be leaders in terms of preparation and practice. They're all different types of forms. And one of the things that we've talked about over the last couple of days is just encouraging them to be leaders within their personality, and that everybody has gifts and talents and they can bring something to the table that's a benefit to the group, to the team. And those conversations have been genuine. They've been really good and really helpful for me to hear, for them to hear, for us to understand where both of us are coming from. And it's just been a lot of fun having that dialogue over the last couple of days. But we don't have leadership issues. I've never used that language.
Greg Barnes.
Hey, Hubert, your team ranks at the bottom of the ACC in terms of turnovers forced. Why do you think that is, and what do you think you guys need to do a little bit better of to improve those numbers moving forward?
Well, we would have to get more steals. That's how we would get, turnovers forced. I don't really particularly look at that stat. That stat doesn't really have very much significance to me. A stat that has significance to me is taking care of the basketball. And at times we've struggled at turning the ball over. And so that's a stat that we talk about and that I pay attention to. But there's also a stat that we do a really good job of defensive rebounding. And there's another stat that we do a really good job of defending without fouling. And so it's not a stat that I focus on too much, that we're low in turnover rate.
So, Hubert, Roy was big on wanting to force turnovers to create transition opportunities. You're not necessarily in that same belief.
I've never said that that is not my belief. I've never told you guys what my belief is or my beliefs are. And I've never said that my belief is I don't believe in forcing turnovers. I just said I don't focus on that stat.
Okay, well, what do you focus on in terms of, creating those opportunities?
Well, there's different ways to score. If you score and they score, you score and they score, how can you get more opportunities to score? Well, there's, other areas. One, you got to get to the free throw line. I think we do a really good job of creating fouls and getting to the free throw line. And that's why we always stress, attack the basket through post to penetration, because you rarely get fouled shooting outside jump shots. Another way you can get other opportunities to score is attacking the offensive glass. And that's why we, even though compared to last year, we don't get to the offensive glass or as successful as we were last year, our 3, 4, and 5 consistently go to the offensive glass. Another way is to create turnovers. And that's an area where we could create more turnovers and get more opportunities to score. And so those are things that we've talked about, and those are things that we've practiced. And my hope is that we will continue to get better at all 3 of those areas to give us more opportunities to score.
Time for 2 more questions with Coach Davis. Armando's about ready. Adam Smith and Brendan Marks. Last 2 questions for Coach.
Hubert, I think it's 4 games in 8 days you have starting tomorrow, and then 5 games in 11 days if you throw Louisville in there for February 1st. Like, it's obviously a busy stretch for you guys. Is having played in the NBA for so long, where you're playing so often there, do you think that factors into the way you prepare and the way you think about things and the way you get these guys ready? Does that have any bearing or help you at all, do you think?
I don't think so. It is what it is. We've got 4 games in 8 days. The guys know we have 4 games in 8 days, and I think they would rather play a game than practice. So I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we get an opportunity to play, and whether we play 4 games in 8 days, or 5 games in 11 days, it's an opportunity to play. And I'm excited about it, and all of our players are just as excited as well.
Last question for Coach Davis, Brendan.
Hey, Hubert. Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on something you said earlier. You mentioned how helpful those conversations you've been having with the players have been the last couple of days for them and for yourself. But in what way were they most helpful? Was it learning, sort of what their, concerns are, or I guess what was the most valuable part of that for you in terms of helping you guys get better, I guess?
Well, it's conversations that consistently are ongoing every day, every week. This wasn't an isolated or a new experience where we had conversations with the players. They stop by the office all the time. We always spend time off the court together. We're always talking. And I've actually said this before, is that I can't coach them unless I know them, and they can't play for me unless they know me. And the only way that I can get to know them and that they can get to know me is that we have to spend a lot of time together. So we spend a ton of time together. Me referencing the conversations over the past 2 days, what I've enjoyed is communication. I really like that. The best way to communicate is face to face. And I really enjoy having those conversations with the players, not just these past 2 weeks or the past 2 days, but my entire coaching career, even as an assistant. It's one of the best parts of my job, in getting to know these players and them getting to know me. And so that's just a part that I just really enjoy. I love hanging out and talking to the guys. It was nothing specific in regards to the last couple days and how the game went against Miami earlier this week.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Coach Davis, thank you. We'll
Thank
get
you.
Armando's ready. He's ready to sit down. Go ahead and raise your hand if you have a question for Armando. We've got 10 minutes with him. He's got to get to practice at 2:30. So, Michael Coe, you'll be first as soon as Armando is ready. All right, Michael, go ahead.
Hey, Armando. So when you took that fall against Miami, it looked like you were in some pretty significant pain. You were down on the floor for a while. When you first hit the ground, did you think the injury was more serious than it ended up turning out to be?
Definitely. I mean, initially I was in a lot of pain, but Doug Hobson did a good job of just helping me recover. These last 2 days we've been kind of just really attacking it hard, and now I'm 100% feeling good.
Thank you.
Andrew Jones.
Armando is one of the guys who's spoken out a couple of times, certainly after Notre Dame, about kind of being a voice in that room to get everybody on the same page, especially when things aren't going very well. What did you learn from the other night that maybe you or Leaky or some of the older guys can do, that when stuff is going poorly, you can maybe say something or do something to sort of straighten things out a little bit?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm still learning too, just how to be a leader and just things to do. And I mean, just in situations like that as a team, I think a lot of the times, a lot of us, we always go into like this hero ball thing, and kind of usually doesn't go the right way. So, I mean, it's just something that me and Leaky and just us as a team, we got to just figure out how to not just, kind of panic in those moments and just kind of stay together.
Thank you.
CL.
Hey, Armando. I don't want to be over dramatic with this game on Saturday, but coming off of Miami's loss and looking at the way the NCAA uses the net rankings, this would be an opportunity for a quad one win. How, I don't know if desperate is a word, or hungry, or just urgent, how important is Saturday's win or Saturday's game, not just in terms of winning and losing, but in terms of showing the kind of effort so that games like Tuesday don't happen?
Yeah, I mean, desperate. I mean, I told the team before the game versus Miami, like that was our Super Bowl. I mean, since I've been here, I haven't had a chance to be the best team in the ACC or the second best team. And just a big game like that, I'm pretty sure we won't have any quad one wins. We definitely need it. And I mean, just every game, I'm just desperate to win because it's something that I desperately want to be a part of. It's just a winning, good team in Carolina, and it's something I really want. And I mean, Wake Forest is not a team to take lightly either. I mean, they're a great team. They got Alonzo Williams, one of the best players in the country. I mean, they're just a good balanced team, and we kind of put it on them last year, so I know they'll definitely come out ready to play.
Ross Martin.
Hey, Armando, I like your chain, by the way. Thank you. After the loss to Miami, we asked Coach Davis about player leadership and how it's kind of a lack of player leadership on this team. And you're one of the more veteran players. I was wondering your take on that. You know, where's the leadership coming from a player side, and how do you approach that as one of the better players and one of the more veteran players?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, I feel like it's just something I'm just learning because, I mean, I could say the right words, but at the end of the day, like, we got to be more than just talk. We just got to go out there and play. And, I mean, it's something I want to just find more ways, like on the court, just at the beginning of the game or just when things get tough, things that I can do better. If that's, you know, maybe giving a hard foul just to wake us up or slapping the ground on defense, or just that's something that I'm just trying to figure out to just kind of light a fire on us during those times where it gets tough.
If I can follow up real quickly, are there other players on the team you think can kind of take that role as well? Like, who do y'all turn to in the locker room besides you that provide some leadership?
I guess really no one. I think maybe that might be a part of the problem. Just we need more guys that just step up and on the court and off the court, just be more vocal and a leader, and also do it with the play too. Because I mean that's a huge thing too. When you're out there playing hard and doing those type of things, then players will respect you and follow. And that's one of the things that I talked about with Coach Davis. Is just what my play is. This something I can do more to just bring more out of the team and just light a fire.
Great, thanks, man.
Adam Smith.
Armando, just wondering if you could give us your thoughts on not having Anthony the rest of the year. Kirsch put the word out right before you came in that he wasn't available for the rest of the season, and I know you're tight with him and stuff like that. Just what do you think about not having him around and you know the whole situation there?
Yeah, well, I mean, I found out when y'all found out, so I still don't even know the whole story. But I mean, it's just kind of sad, just me playing with Ant. We've been on the same team since the 7th grade, so just, I mean, he my roommate, been my roommate since I've been here, roommate when we go travel. So it's definitely something that'll be tough. And I mean, Ant is one of those guys actually that the way he plays, I mean, kind of, especially you see in the big games like Purdue, for example, just he kind of lights a fire, and just how he plays, he get a big steal, hit a big corner three. Ant was one of those guys. So just not having them, we need guys like Kerwin to step up even more, DeMarco, Dontrez.
Thank you.
Brendan Marks.
Hey, Armando, yeah, you started to answer my question there, but I was going to say, knowing that you guys won't have Ant the rest of the way, are you excited for the additional opportunities that guys like Kerwin and Dontrez and DeMarco are going to get? And I guess who are the guys that you think can potentially, out of those who have maybe been a little bit lower down in the rotation, who are some of the guys you think might be able to provide a similar spark or impact that Ant did?
Yeah, I mean, well, DeMarco and Kerwin, both of them kind of being the two guard, 3 guards type of guys. Definitely, I mean, I went up to all of them, including Justin too, and just told them today, like, yo, we need y'all to step up even more. Like, y'all should be trying to break the rims off in practice and really bring in that fire because, I mean, the opportunity is there now. And he averaged around, like, 15 minutes a game, and even in some games he played even more. So we just need somebody to match his fire and really step up. Defensively.
Gregory Hall.
Armando, when things aren't going well, what's something that you most consistent at, you personally and also the team, to kind of point to and say, look, we can still do this, and then it'll get everything else kind of rolling both offensively and defensively?
Well, I mean, in the exact moment, it's really nothing we can point to in terms of just. I mean, we could look back on some of the things we did, but I mean, I feel like we already in that situation at that point. So, really, all we can do is just speak words and say things like that. But I mean, honestly, that really hasn't been working for us. So, just we got to find something that will help us.
Got time for one more if there is one. Anybody? You can jump in. All right, Armando, thank you very much. Appreciate everybody jumping on. If you're driving to Winston, be careful. We'll see some of you tomorrow night. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you.